the lesson.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I, recall probably at least a couple of times, pulling up at the railway crossing.
Yeah.
And seeing the Fradies come through.
Yeah.
And seeing, NEK crew
Yeah.
on the Fradies.
Yeah.
I mean, tell us a little bit about Fradies, because obviously Fradies are different to passengers.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, there's definitely TAs and your metros, your passengers, they're the bee's knees. That's, that's the pinnacle, really. Everyone wants to do them. You know what I mean? That's the real deal. Well, freights are good, though. They run. You know what I mean? There's cool freights where, like the old Rockies that used to go from down Osborne Way all through to Barossa up to Penrice and that, and run along the whole Gawler line. You know what I mean? So they used to be I think the most would be 27 Rocky, these little carts at a time. And, you got full colour burners running on Gawler line all through to Barossa, through all the wineries. Then, this would actually cruise over Port Adelaide Bridge and the main drag of Port Adelaide. So, getting cool footage of your, pieces going across that, past all the freezers at Port Adelaide and stuff. That was always cool, you know what I mean? Through traffic past the Birkenhead Tavern and stuff, so you get your pieces. They were running, you know what I mean? Where especially when, around the time TAs were getting done, they didn't really run much, you know what I mean? If shit got done at Blair, would run in the city, get buffed. Did the Adelaide yard, they'd get buffed in the yard. You could do your back jumps and run-ups and stuff, and they'd run, but they'd rarely run them back out again. So, you're doing it, around that stage, you're doing your TAs for your photos, mad fun photos. But your freights you get to see run, you know what I mean? There's still, freights running for, 13 odd years, or, a couple from 2003 still going,
wow.
Almost every year you have one, you could potentially, some might have some running, almost every year since 2003. You could almost, there's one from 2003. Oh, there's an 04 one still running. There's, you get the Secchies, the security cap them, unfortunately, probably about a year or two into, doing freights, security started trashing them, consolidated security. They'd bomb Consec on your pieces, trash them. The main reason, I believe, was, they'd take a photo of your piece, trash them so they know what they had photos of, to build their little file, you know what I mean? Then you had old Andy, one of the train drivers out there, writing idiot art and stuff like that, and, cool Crime Stoppers, did your child do this on your pieces? He was just a shit stirring train driver, but, you had him as well, doing his little thing where he's either paint or with a marker, right? His main thing was idiot art you'd write on your pieces. But even then, man, your piece might be trashed a little bit, you still can, that dude's got a nice full colour on there, it's cruising around, and years, you know what I mean? That's one time when good paint can come into it, because they're trashing your stuff with shit paint. You've got good paint, theirs probably going to fade quicker. So at least, it would be a little trash, but you still got nice pieces running, Yeah, it's cool seeing a 40, wagon freight go past, and you've got a dozen full colours cruising on it. It's fun to see, Yeah.
And then I guess, with, accessing the Fradies.
Yeah.
I'm going to imagine or assume that they're not in the same yards as passenger trains.
Oh, no, they're way chiller.
The security.
They still have their odd bus, and so there's still bus dudes at the freights, but don't compare. There's no comparable, how hard it is to do a freight compared to doing a metro and stuff like that. It's, freights are a good time. You know what I mean? If you're not dumb and you know what you're doing, you can cruise in,
and actually be relatively
hang
relaxed
out, chill, get shit done. You got there was no cameras on the freights, so. When you're doing TAs, some yards you got, 2 layers of fence, your Rio, your electric fence, then you got your raised wire at the top, then you got sensors and cameras, and you're having to get through all that to do one. Whereas freights, we didn't even have to jump a fence out of Greenfields, and they just walk in. You know what I mean? You got the Secchi check when he did his checks. If you knew what the deal was, And when we first started going there, it's you could switch the lights on and off. You know what I mean? I know, Tents was notorious for doing that to try and mess with people. You know what I mean? And I'd say, it was cool. That's what I liked about the freights as well. When I first started 7 through 8, and JBL, but always, what sticks in mind, 738, they were smashing it, like tents, like just whole cars, full colours, him purple, all of them, Boyle, purple, all of them, Hush, all of them, man, they were smashing it, you know what I mean? And it would always be like, being young, it'd be like, you know, make sure you don't bump into tents and purple and Dry Creek. They're going to fucking gank you for your paint and stuff. So it was always like, that was cool as well, man. Like, you know, as much as, you know, it sucks, you know, lucky it never happened to us. But, you know, like that little bit of fear of you don't want to bump into other dudes as well. Like, you know what I mean? Like you don't want to bump into older riders like JBL, like, you know, out at where all the Rockies were in that particular spot. You know, they had that locked down. When I went there, man, just seeing their full colours, just their pieces, like Dismal, Draw, all of them, all JBL, man. Like, and it was like, you don't want to bump into them out there, you know, like even Probs and Arson, they went in JBL, but Probs were like, mate, you know, met later on, he smashed it, you know, no longer with us, you know, rest in peace, Probs. But he was, you know, definitely an idol of mine, man, and he smashed the Rockies, you know, he had that many full colours, holies going, it was great. Yeah.
So then I guess, other than 73A, you know, and JBL, who were some of the, like, you know, prominent crews that you guys sort of looked up to?
Well, the guys, yeah, for me, you know what I mean? Like, I could probably speak for the crew, but, you know, there'd be a few changes here and there, but mainly me, definitely, like, yeah, it was like JBL, 73A, RCF, and NA were the main ones that really stuck out in my mind, like, you know what I mean? It was definitely, you know, 73A, JBL, and RCF, and NA, they were the ones that so well established. They're already considered, like, they're old school to me back then, you know what I mean? And they're all dudes, you'd look at their pieces, like, you know, it's a bit different now as well. Like, you know, we'd rock out, if you know where they've done some nice pieces, we'd go there, hang out and look at their pieces, you know what I mean? Have a sesh, drink, and, you know, and just talk about their pieces and sit there and chill, like, where, you know, dudes will rock up to a wall and just, it's illegal, we'll just go over it or something like that, you know, like, but, you know, we used to sit there and just, you know, in awe sometimes of some of the burners that do, you know. But yeah, definitely, for me personally, yeah, tents, tarns, draw, summon and occur. I reckon they're the ones that really influenced me the most with just technical stuff. And Illy, you know, they did their Illy graph, like, you know what I mean? Like, you want dudes, you know, I like it all, you know. I think, you know, some people are pure train guys, you know, dudes just paint walls, and, you know, I really like a dude that's done it all, you know what I mean? Like the metros, freights, walls, illy and legal, you know, the all-rounder. I reckon that's cool. You know, bombing, you know what I mean? Like 738, like, obviously 738, like, no long, like, smashed it. Legends, you know, like.
And then, you know, I guess, you know, when NEK, you know, hit the Freighties for the first time, and I assume that obviously, you know, most dudes, if not all dudes, are hitting Freighties before they get to hit passengers, just because. I guess,
for
the most part.
Yeah, I'd say.
How did you guys sort of figure out how to do it?
Okay.
Like, were you shown by?
Yeah. Well, actually, it was who would have been the first? I reckon it was old Open Yard. You know what I mean? I think I first went out there with even Mystics real early. Like, I would have, in that little summer break you were talking about. I reckon I was, you know, rocked Freighty pretty quick. You know what I mean? Because they're already kind of getting into it themselves. So they've already been doing shit for a few years. So it was easy for me. You know, I kind of cruised along. But I'd say, like, the main one that really showed me what the deal was just a Blackwood dude, Shoe. You know, big shove. Like, you know, out at the Rockies. Like, showing, you know, being sneaky. Like, you know, if a secchi or a worker comes, don't just do the piss bolt like a rabbit, you know, like running in front of lights. Like, you know, play a bit of cat and mouse. Just avoid them. Watch where they go. So when they leave, you know, it's all good. Where, like, you know, a lot of dudes just like to just, well, there's some lights. Let's just run. You know what I mean? But it's all the little things that, yeah, like, he definitely showed me, you know, like, how to be chill. Like, don't freak out in there. Just paint, relax, just keep an eye on things, be aware. You know what I mean? You just got, you know, be aware when security's going to come, if there's workers about, where they come from, you know what I mean? But he was definitely the first, you know, like, because they're already doing it for a few years before me. So I was pretty lucky that I got to meet dudes that were already doing stuff. And then the generation above them, like all the Blackwood dudes and stuff like Occur and Summon and stuff like that, like, you know, they're a bit older than them again. So then, you know, they're already doing their thing. Like, they're already smashing fucking everything. Like, you know, and all your Trans Adelaide stuff, you know. So, you you know, they're already doing it, so I could see it happening, you know what I mean? But yeah, we started doing the freights and, you know, just kind of waited for my time, you know, all right, let's try and do other things, a bit more full-on stuff. And, you know, I was pretty lucky. There was dudes that were already pretty established. So, you know, once they showed me the ropes, then, you know, you knew the ins and outs a bit more, you know. So I guess I got a foot in that way. I was pretty lucky like that. But then, you know, you put in your part as well. When things need to be set up, you know how things have to be. You can go set it up this time, you know. Like this, you know, you got to do certain things. You know, sometimes there's preparation to be able to get into places. So, you know, like, you know, you pay your dues that way, you know.
And then with the, you know, I guess just specifically with the Fradies.
Yeah.
Was that's for the most part been pretty chill? There's never really been...
Oh, you get your hairy moments, you know, and there's always the near misses, like, you know what I mean? You know, there can be times where you could go out painting, it's all sweet, you know, wander in, wander out, photos, laughs, good times, good pieces, and then dudes go in there half an hour later and get done by a sting, like an actual setup, you know what I mean? Like, that's been known to happen, you know what I mean? And then times where just, you know, shit's got a bit hairy and, you know, like, you know, security or cops roll in, but if you're aware of your surroundings, know what's going on, you know, generally speaking, you should be able to spot them before they spot you, unless it's a full sting, I guess. Like, then it's, you know, probably, you know, they're right next to you. I guess who's the fastest runner sometimes, I guess. But I've never been the fastest runner, so I relied on knowing my surroundings. So, yeah.
And then, so that's, you know, that's the Fradies, you know, side of things. And then, you know, as you mentioned before, then you've got your passenger trains.
Yeah, people love doing them. Yeah.
And that's obviously a whole different ball game in regards to...
Oh, it's definitely... Yeah, yeah. If you,
getting in and getting out.
If you're someone that likes to do that, yeah, and you're smart about it, you know, there's dudes that can smash it and they're just doing... You're like, how are they getting away with this? Like, you know, like, shit. Like, you know, they're being dodgy, you know what I mean? They can get away with it, you know what I mean? A lot of times, eventually, it catches up with them, but... You know, you just got to be prepared. Like, you know, you have to remember, it ain't a major crime, but it is a crime. So, like, you got to be smart about things. Like, you know, dudes can get, especially dudes that have been in trouble for other stuff before, if they've got prints on the system, you don't want to be leaving a can in a yard that's had to be chopped into through security. You don't want to be leaving a can with your fingerprints on it in there. You know what I mean? You know, so you got to be smart, you know, and obviously, if there's sensors and cameras, like if you're setting them off, well, someone's going to be on their way quick smart, the security or police. So, you know, you got...
Because they're sirens and stuff. They're not actually, like, you can't hear them.
Oh, no. You just set sensor off, which, you know, I don't know, you know, most probably sets the cameras off, starts recording. But, you know, it definitely alerts them and they're on their way. You know what I mean? You know, there's times where you can do things where you go for it. You're like, well, how long? If someone's setting off a sensor, well, how long will it take them to get here from the nearest cop shop? So dudes might want to smash things out quick, you know, and be like, well, it'll probably take them 10 minutes to get here. You know, dudes will try and do stuff in under 10 minutes, kind of be done before they rock up. You know what I mean? Or there's times where you can set it. You know, dudes can set things up a particular way with their little, you know, tricks of the trade and. Will get you more time in there because you're not setting any sensors off, you know what I mean? But definitely times where, you know, as you're walking off, that, you know, police could be rocking up and it's that close, you know, so, you know, that happens a lot when it's just that cat and mouse game, you know what I mean? It's what makes it fun as well, you know what I mean? Like, it's about doing your piece and doing our piece, but, you know, it's an adventure as well. It's a good time and it's experience, you know, like...
The lesson. 927. Oh, yeah.